George done made us late.
All right, here I'm is. Let me do some major, minor adjustments, and we will get this show on the road. Yep. We will get this show. You hear me? On the road. All right, there's way too much of me on the screen. I gotta change it up so I can get some of my guests. Now I think that ought to do it. Now see, this is low budget podcasting, almost to the point of no budget podcasting. All right. Now I do have an announcement I would like to read, and I've got it over there, so excuse me one more minute. All right, now, as I said, here I'm is, you know we're going to get down to biz, this is break on through, and you know what we're going to do, because I have a special guest tonight, a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway.
Oh, man.
Because he is known as the Bootleg Preacher, the Sunday school teacher. You may simply know him as Mr. Number One, but here he is, live, and it ain't no job, my good friend, Mr. George South. Look at this.
Look at this thing.
Look at this.
I was over here standing. You got me on the camera while I kept moving this thing. Folks, listen. Do not adjust your camera. Do not adjust your television. Look, I think it's going to come unbuttoned. Folks, listen to this thing. I know I look like, look at this. Man, that shows up. I know this looks like James Brown. A little Elvis in here. Folks, this was actually, believe it or not, look, now there is a snap. I told you, he lied. I couldn't even get it. Why they didn't do Velcro in the 80s, I don't know, okay? But there's a small hook. This is actually one of the wrestling ring jackets or capes that, of course, from the 80s, of course, the old, of course, B&A was the boot shop, but there was K&H wrestling wear. That's just no longer in business. But, and I know it looks like, Jeff, you got it cold in there? You got it cold. People look like I'm covering up. But, folks, this was actually one of the pro wrestling capes that we wore back in the 80s. Now, guys don't wear this stuff now. It's kind of neat because I even took it by High Spots today, who makes a lot of gear. And they said this material is very hard to come by. And what's so cool about it, I won't do it because you people, it makes me think, my kids say it makes them think of the popcorn we ate, Jiffy Pop. Remember? You put it on the stove and it blows and then it explodes. But what's so cool about this is it's interchangeable.
Right.
You know, this thing, like, if I was a good guy, I'd wear the silver out. And, of course, if I was a bad guy, I'd switch it back. And do the black. So tell the folks why you even have that. Well, what's so amazing?
You told me.
Yeah, unbelievable. What's so amazing is, of course, everybody knows my history with the NWA Mid Atlantic. I posted a little bit about it today. I actually always can't come over here to the Clayton Batcave without stopping right down the road, South Boulevard, Briar Bend, which was Crockett's old office, and I actually usually just drive by and wave. I can almost see the ghost of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes there, but a lot of money was made, a lot of great angles. You know, that's where they broke, the Four Horsemen broke Dusty's hand back in the day, was right in that parking lot. So today, I had a few minutes. I actually got out of the car and just stood there for a little bit. And y'all people, I know I've been hitting the head a lot, but it was very special. It's sad because there, and I even showed a picture of it on Facebook, the property is up for sale.
No.
Like that whole corner where Crockett's office was, it's just empty. The whole parking lot's empty, it's locked up, and there's a big for sale sign in the yard. And it's just sad that it's there. But I actually took a picture. There used to be a door on the side where just the wrestlers could go in. And you know, folks, that's where I used to go in, and that's where that time I walked by a Barry Windham's Porsche, his convertible, and stuffing was coming up out of the seats. And I stopped and looked in, and his old hound dog was chewing the seats in this $100,000 Porsche. And so I go in there, and I'll never forget the old hound dog had a bandana on it, you know, like Barry. And I thought, man, Barry's going to kill this dog. So I went in there and I said, Barry, I said, you know, I know you're busy, but you probably want to get, you know, probably want to go outside and check because I think your dog's like eating your car. And he looked at me and said, oh, he'll be okay. He said, okay. So I guess the car finished eating it. But it was right there at that door. I'll never forget the stuffing flying out. And a lot of memories today for me. So anyway, I got to spend some time there today. They used to keep the cage that they kept Baby Doll in. You know, I sent Magnum TA a picture today of that building, and he summed it up better than I did. He said, if those grounds could talk, you know, the money and the ideals that was done and you know, did in that little studio. So anyway, I said all that to get to this. Dusty come up with the ideal that, okay, let's get rid of some of the underneath guys and save a little bit of money, and let's just have George and Gary Roll wrestle like 8 times in an hour.
Right.
Now, on paper, I guess this all sounded like a great idea. You know, we'll get rid of some guys, and George and them will just go change outfits after every match. And I'm sitting there thinking, how much more does this pay? Of course, he didn't pay no extra.
Right.
Yeah, okay? So, but it's the American dream. Okay? Well, he needed us. So put me in, coach. So we tried it. Like, we would go out, Sid Vicious would beat me up, then I would go to the back, and I had it all laid out, like Deion Sanders football uniforms before a game. I had all the different gimmicks laid out in the floor. Like each, and I remember I couldn't understand how Dusty thought this was going to work, and he just looked at me and said, well, just wrestle different. I said, what? He said, just wrestle different. I said, okay. So that came out of all of this. There were 4 different gimmicks that Dusty gave us. You know, the Gladiators, the blue that the Mulkeys beat, and then of course the Crow Connection was the lime green that was so famous. A buddy of mine just found a huge poster of Brian Pillman against me as the Crow Connection. And I'll never forget that poster because we didn't get a dime for it. And Brian Pillman, he didn't care. So I remember when Jim Hurd took over, he was the head boss. Pillman had a poster of me and him, and he said, come with me, George. I said, okay. I mean, he took me right to Jim Hurd and said, where's me and George's money for this? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I didn't say that. He said it. But he was nuts. He just didn't care. But so the Crow Connection, and then there was the Mexican Twin Devils, which was, again, just a different colored outfit than what me and Gary Roll had. And, of course, it was not lime green, but it was like a fluorescent red and silver. And so, but I'll never forget, the greatest story about that is Dusty said, we're going to give you Jim Crockett's credit card to pay for this. Okay? We didn't have to buy it. They bought it. And so it's like, it'd be like Vince McMahon giving you a credit card and saying, just go order gear. So I remember, here's me, the sensible one, okay? Gary said, man, George, we're going to order like 20 outfits. And I said, no, we're not. Like, I had to be like sensible, right? I said, no, Gary, we're only going to order 4. And we got boots too, folks. I'm not making this stuff up. So we got 4, I mean, we got pairs of boots, brand new boots. And I remember Gary said, George, we're going to order a lot. I said, no, we're not. And now that I look back, the company's gone, the building's for sale, there's no credit card.
Man,
I should have shut up. I should have shut up, Jeff, and said, yeah, Gary, go ahead. Man, I'd be having all kind of gear. But we got 4 out of it, and I got them back home on the museum and Mannequins, and it's all out. And what's so funny is I was telling some guys today, and I want our listeners real quick, and then I'll shut up, is everybody think, you know, I had a guy tell me the other day, he said, man, I watched your match with Ric Flair back in the day. Everybody tells me that. They sure do. And it's so neat to be a part of their life. But the guy was kind of joking. He said, you know, I wished I was the booker back then. He said, I would have put you over Ric Flair. Like he said, I would have let you beat Ric Flair. And I said, oh, no. Because I have made a good living getting beat up by Ric Flair. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think if my story would have been different, and let's say I did beat Ric Flair, I joke and say I'd be on dark sides of the ring. Okay, there'd be a bad story about it. So I by losing, and I told some people this. Most people want us to finish our story, and what I've learned over the years in professional wrestling, and this is just a little nitbit for our viewers, is when the good guy wins the belt, it's over. Okay, I always remember that. Yeah, old John Wayne movie. Remember I told you? So when the good guy is chasing, think about Midnight and Rock and Roll. Okay, when Midnight had the belts, and Ricky and Robert were chasing them all over the country, was the biggest gate attendance ever. Now, when Rock and Roll wins the belts, it's no good. Okay? Because you gave them what they wanted, and then it's over. So, I learned a very valuable lesson is the good guy, there's more money to be made when the good guy is chasing the bad guy. Always remember that. So, anyway, this is just part of it. I've been doing some fixing up of my old museum at home. I'll tell you a quick funny story. Yeah. So, my son, he gets on Marketplace, and I need a shelf. I'm so jealous of your shelves in here.
Yeah.
So, he finds me on Marketplace, like, this shelf.
I know what you're going to say.
Okay? This shelf. And I'm so excited because I can't believe that they're selling this IKEA thing.
Yeah,
gimmick.
one of those things, right?
Yes. From, like, very cheap. And I said, son, it's going to have to be broke. I mean, there's no way this guy can just sell this for this. So it happened to be a couple days ago when it was raining, cats and dogs in Charlotte. I had to leave the next day for 3 days, but I wanted my shelf. I had cash money, Jeff. And so me and my son get in his truck, and I don't even know the house we're going to, but my son does. It's raining, we're soaking wet, and my son has been talking to this guy on the phone. Several, about we'll be there to get it, so and so. So we get to the man's house. My son goes up to the door. I mean, we're soaked. We look like ducks in a mud puddle. My son knocks on the door. The man comes. My son introduces himself. Hey, I'm George South. I'm the one you spoke to. That's my dad standing there. I look like a wet puppy dog. I mean, yes. Man, my bandana's down to here, yeah. My Antiseen hat's all soaked. And little George said, we're here to get the shelf, right? And I swear to you, Jeff, it was so funny. I mean, we're standing there in the rain. And so the man says, well, where's the money? I mean, not hello, not, oh, I'm so glad y'all came to get it. We're glad to get rid of it. I mean, boom. He said, well, where's the money? And it caught my son off guard. I just knew my son was going to punch him. I mean, I understand, but, I'm thinking my time. I don't think if we were going to rob you or if we were going to steal this IKEA shelf, we would have done it when it was raining.
Right.
Okay? So, anyway, I just moved. So we paid him. We got the shelf. I took it home. I set it up. It's unbelievable. I actually, what he wanted for it, I jewed him down, and then I think I could have went more, but I felt sorry for the guy. But I thought, sure, there's going to be shelves missing. The little screw gimmicks are going to be missing. There's no way. But I got very lucky. Thank the good Lord, I got a good shelf, and it's already full.
Right.
So anyway, so we're getting some stuff out of boxes.
Listen, if you don't mind, I'd like to do our interview format a little bit different this time.
Uh-oh.
Now, every time you come, I know you always bring me a bunch of stuff.
Yes, I do. I got some tonight.
I see that, but this time I want to give you some stuff.
Oh, buddy.
Is it okay if I do that?
Yes. And if I shed a tear, I'm gonna blow it on this cape.
All right.
Okay.
Well, first thing I got you. This is my record label. Ooh. Now I want you to wear this everywhere. I want you to advertise for me.
Oh.
And people might think that you're talking about you when you're wearing this.
Oh, I love that too.
It's called the Long-Haired Weirdo Record.
Oh.
You like it?
I love that. I love that.
Well,
and I've seen that a bunch of times, but I swear I did not know that was your company.
Oh, that's me.
But now, no, that'll be wore this weekend, Jeff. You know that.
You can cut that up like rock and roll.
Yeah, tighten a little knot down at the bottom. Oh, Jeff, thank you.
Now here's something. Now, a few of you may have seen George in the last week or so, and he was selling a CD there called Falls Count Anywhere.
Oh.
By Antiseen. That's my rockin' teenage combo.
Jeff, we
Well, here's the official T-shirt.
Oh goodness.
Here, let me get where people can see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's still. Man, I'm so off. All right, here we go. See that? That's a beautiful shirt right there. Oh,
that's tough. That's right off the album cover.
That is. And that's yours.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, buddy. Oh, my goodness.
Well, man.
Oh.
That's all I got for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, listen. No.
I got a little box here.
Listen. Folks, let me just set this up. Now, I know we joke a lot. I know, folks, listen. Most of you know me. I've been doing this stuff almost 43 years. In a few months, September, I will be 62 years old. And still love professional wrestling with all my life. I mean, it's all I've ever done. Thank the good Lord, I'm still able to get in there and act a fool.
Amen.
But what I've done, I've had top 500 in encyclopedias. I've been, Ric Flair. He wrote about me in his book. Even his daughter, Charlotte Flair, wrote a book, and Flair even wrote about me in his daughter's book about the whole story. He made me Steamboat for one night, and I've lived off of that, and people, but here's what's so amazing, real quick, and I know we got a lot to talk about, is, folks, I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say here. When somebody comes up to me at my table, I know I'm trying to make $1, but when someone comes up to my table that is a little bit younger than me or whatever, and they say, I watched your match with Ric Flair, and folks, this was late 80s, early 90s. They said, I watched you against Ric Flair with my dad. Now that gets it. Jeff, you know my history. I never knew my dad. Nothing that I got one little picture of him. That's it. Didn't know my dad. Dad, bless his heart, if he's here with us, I wouldn't even know him. But I never had that connection. Is where I'm getting at. So anyway, for them to come up and say, I watched you against Ric Flair with my dad. I sat on my dad's lap and watched you against Ric Flair. So that is very special to me that I shared that moment with them. So I've had a lot of neat stuff. But folks, you better, Blackjack Mulligan used to say, you better go get those ugly children out of the kitchen. That's what he say in his promos. He said, you better get those ugly kids out of the kitchen and come here because I got something to say. But what we're fixing, Jeff, what you're fixing to do, and I'll get, folks, I ain't cried in 30 years. Well, I didn't even cry when Matt's wife left. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, I'm joking. But anyway, what we're fixing to do here, folks, for me, is very emotional because I have never had anything done like this done for me. I've never had anything available like this for my fans, for people to share with me. So, folks, what you're fixing to see is as I'm seeing it. We would not.
George has not seen this
I
yet.
have not. We got here earlier, a little bit ago, and I have not. I
asked him, I said, George, is it okay if I don't show you this until we go on?
It was hard. It was hard.
And he was looking at me like, man, I can't believe you're doing this.
It's like we were having a baby. It's like we were having a baby, and I couldn't go in there. And folks, listen, I'm gonna take this thing off in a minute. I'm trying to get it right. It looks like you came to the old folks' home and you're visiting me. The old wrestling legend.
Here, man.
Yeah.
Here. Hey, go ahead and throw it over the back of that chair.
Okay, can I do that?
Yes, you can.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, folks.
Look at that stylish shirt.
Oh man, look at this thing. I think I had it on last time I came. Jeff, I love his shirt because I can spill stuff on the road. Right. You can't tell it.
Right.
It just blends in with the design. I got mustard here, Bojangles sauce here, but it just blends, okay? But anyway, folks, I got to get serious for a minute because this right here, what we're fixing to share together, we're going to wait and share it with all you great viewers, is first time. Jeff, I've never had anything done. Nobody's ever done anything like this for me. So you, Barry, the whole band, for y'all to do this for me is very special to me. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you something. I speak for the entire band. I speak for Barry, Malcolm, and Walt.
Man.
I speak for our crew, Brandon and Mondo. Man, it is our honor to be able to do this for you. Now, I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory, okay? I'm gonna prolong it just a little bit longer.
Okay. Oh.
All right, the original plan, folks, was that this was going to be a 7-inch single. But as you all know, the expenses for doing a 7-inch single, like whatever was our last 7-inch single, is more than likely going to be our last 7-inch single.
Wow.
Because the cost just does not, and the balance of what you would make, it's just it just doesn't balance out.
That's right.
And you get it. This, and also too, George wrestles in a lot of the smaller towns. He wrestles in some big cities too. But a lot of these folks, they don't have turntables.
That's right.
So it wouldn't have really made a whole lot of sense to do these. But we figure at least every other person's got a way to play CDs, even if they play them on their computer.
Right.
So what we decided on as a band, and we cleared it with George, but we decided to do a CD single. The second one ever in Antiseen's history. One of them was in Japan.
Oh, man.
But I said, this is the first one we've ever self-released. We didn't even do it on our label. This is a George South production, 100%. I now present to you.
Oh, yeah.
The CD single.
Oh.
And it is our honor.
Oh.
It is. Of Bootleg Preacher.
First time I get to see it.
The Ballad of George South. Brother, here it is.
Oh.
And I'm going to show it to the people.
Please.
There it is. Right. Look at that front cover right there.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
And I'm going to flip it over and show people the back.
Show the back.
Look at that.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you people something. We strategically left you a little corner up here. So when you buy one from George, from up here, you can get George to sign it. It'll look really nice. Or you can sign the front. It'll look nice there. Then check this out.
Oh, yeah.
People take their CDs out and leave them laying around there. They'll know, well, where's the CD go? Well, it's obvious where the CD goes. It goes in George South, Bootleg Preacher.
That, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Look at that.
You know what that says?
Oh.
Y'all need Jesus.
Oh, Jeff. Oh. I'll buy every one of them right here. Okay? Oh, my goodness. Jeff, I've never...
Well, brother, these are... This whole box right here, this whole box belongs to you.
Oh, Jeff, this...
That's you, brother.
Okay, I gotta be careful.
You
Folks, listen.
I got
to add this, Jeff. This one's mine. This will go. They'll bury me in this one. Okay, and then when y'all pay money to come pee on my grave. Okay, and I told everybody, nobody gets in free to my funeral. You're gonna pay to pee on my grave. But anyway, Jeff, look, folks, I want just a little nitbit here. The two pictures, I want you to know, because Antiseen is all over this thing. Is Jeff? Remember, you helped me pick out the two pictures that we were going to choose, and the one for the CD, Jeff. You picked this one out. This is the one that you wanted for the CD. So, sure. Jeff, I love it. I mean, there's no words, folks. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I have an old boom box at home. I mean, when I talk boom box, I'm talking 1980 record bar right down in Independence. Boom box, okay? How this thing still works, because I've shared with many of you, I don't have a television. I don't want a television at all. I told you, people come to my door trying to sell me like Windstream and all this kind of stuff, and I'm sitting there telling this goof on my front porch, I don't have a TV. But the guy the other day said, "Oh, you just trying to get rid of me?" I said, "No, I'm fixing to get rid of you, but I'm not lying to you. I don't have a television, you big dummy." So anyway, I got a little boom box. So when you gave me I got my copy. You autographed my copy from the guys in the band of the whole record with this song of Bootleg Preacher on there. And Jeff, I'm gonna tell you, folks, not because I'm going to sell every one of these, and I got something else I'm going to tell you that's very special to me that I got that I'm going to add with this till we get rid of this first run. Is I want to tell people when this song first kicks in. Jeff, I just told you that standing in your living room a while ago. Folks, you know Antiseen and their record and their history and of just, smack in the face, smack in the mouth, rock and roll. Well, when this thing kicks in, I'm going to tell you, I can't even explain to you people. Everybody knows my love for Journey and the 80s. And I tell you, first road trip I ever made, I was 18. The old-timers stowed me in the back, and they put Journey on. Now, of course, this is 80s, and I'm thinking, well, everybody listens to Journey. I mean, that's how I found my love. Now, Steve Perry is my all-time favorite because he just happened to be singing at that time, but that's how I got hooked on Journey. Everybody says, "What's your deal with Journey?" Okay? And I don't care who the lead singer is. I'm going to punch somebody if they say air nails better than the other guy. No, just shut up. Okay? I'm just glad they're playing music. You know? So, anyway, the old timer put Journey in. I got hooked on it. And so that's been my love for Journey. I just thought everybody on a road trip listens to Journey. And people, I tell them about stories. I throw Boogie, Ricky, and Robert in a van from Charlotte, and we drove straight to Dallas, Texas, and did a show, and we came straight back. That's a true story. And I went through a case of Mountain Dews. Boogie wrote about it in his book, but I played Journey. We never turned Journey off. We get back to Charlotte. I let Ricky out of the car, and I'll never forget Ricky Morton says, "I hate Steve Perry's guts." That's what Ricky Morton said. But a funny story with that. 3 days later, Ricky's wrestling in West Virginia at a college. He goes into a gas station to get gas and comes out, and you'll never believe it, Journey was playing the college, and their tour bus was in the parking lot.
Oh, really?
So Ricky Morton called me, and he said, "Have I died?" Like, he already hated Steve Perry, and all of a sudden their bus was in the parking lot. So, I said all that to say, folks, when you play this thing and it first kicks in, that's the most emotional part for me, Jeff, because I know, and you even told me earlier that, of course, that was intentional.
Right. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give full credit where credit is due right here. You need to thank Sir Barry Hannibal for that.
Wow.
He's the one that came up with that whole intro.
Right.
It was a mixture between, and you know, Steve Wenzel had something to do with this too.
Yes, he did. Yes,
and,
our buddy. Thank you, Steve.
But Steve was in the room with us when we first got it going, and I'm sure Steve showed us a few turnarounds and stuff. But I'm pretty sure Sir Barry is the one that outlined that whole intro, and it was probably him and Walt Wheat worked that out.
Wow.
But,
because I keep using the wrong musical term, because I think it's like the guitar riff, but that ain't it, is it? I mean, that ain't what I'm talking about.
That's not the riff.
Okay.
The riff.
Dang it! I thought I had guitar later. Just
but
shut up, wrestler. Okay.
I want to give a little bit more credit to this, that we weren't
Please
able to. Dave Norton laid that. Well, the entire layout is my thing, but Dave Norton, between Dave Norton and Malcolm Kent, we got this thing working. And got it to the plant where it printed, and it came out very, very nice, as you can see. And right here in the comments, Critty Hancock, you see that?
Yes.
She performed on this along with Brooke Sherrill. They are a singing team that we lovingly call the Destructo Divas.
Oh, I love that.
And you heard them on the Great Disasters album when they sang "Who Needs You" with us, the Steppenwolf cover. And now they are on "False Count Anywhere," and now they're on the George South Bootleg Preacher.
Oh, see, I didn't. Oh, I thank you for telling me that.
Yes, sir.
But folks, when this thing kicks in, it grabs you.
All right, well, look here. Here's what people are asking. They're asking now where they can buy. Now, I know for a fact y'all can buy this wherever George South is wrestling.
Right.
Are you going to sell any through the mail, George?
Yes, I am. And the easiest way, folks, most of you know I got a flip phone, which I'm proud of. I do go to the library, and I got an email, believe it or not. But I have a website, old school website, and it's just georgesouth.com. And because I ain't been shy about it. I hate giving PayPal anything. Okay, I do, folks. So I get my emails every day, and if something, because you go to my website, it says how to contact George. How much simpler can that be? And it comes straight to me. And I love to meet. I love to sell something. Don't get me wrong, but I like to build up a relationship with my daughter says it so I can sell you something else, but that's beside the point. Okay, yeah, my daughter, be quiet, smart aleck. Okay, but anyway, so if they simply send me, and it just takes a little bit, but I don't mind it, and I hope they don't. If they just send me my email and just say hello, I'm very interested in this. It'll be. I don't want to give, and I'll be honest, I don't want to give PayPal. Now, if we got to do PayPal, we got to do PayPal. Okay. And I don't mind it if it takes a couple cents out. That may be easier for you. I have a PayPal, is what I'm trying to say. So the bottom line is we will get one of these into your hands any way we can. So what I would say to the ones that don't live around here or may not come to a wrestling show is you just go to georgesouth.com and you email me and just tell me what is the easiest way for you, for them. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
So if you say, okay, all I got is access to PayPal, then I have no problem with that. Okay, I hope that I make everything too hard.
All right, now I'm going to lay this out for y'all one more time, because
see, my brother Marvin hates PayPal.
Yeah,
too.
He does.
Oh, I love that.
Matter of fact, he just ordered a couple Joe Young tribute shirts, and he just sent me cash through the mail.
Yes,
or a money order.
I hate it.
Now listen, I know tonight and tomorrow, people are going to be writing me going, "Damn, Jack Clayton, you got to tell me, so you got to tell me where I can get a George South CD single." But you know, I'm going to tell you, you can't get it from us. You can go look at our Big Cartel Store tonight, and it won't be on there, because I don't have any to give you. I don't have any to sell you. Every single one of these, except for a small stack that we are going to give to the people who worked on it.
Yes, thank you.
Which we ordered extra.
Yes.
For that. Every one of them you have to get directly from George South himself. So if you walk around and went, "Man, I bought this from Antiseen," no, you didn't. Okay. Because Antiseen didn't have it for sale.
Right.
So what you do is you go to George's website, georgesouth.com.
Yeah.
There's a way on there to get in touch with him. You got to write an email.
Yeah.
I know, tough, but
now, folks, listen. Let me add this, Jeff, because I don't care. My number is also my office number. My number to my flip phone to chase George South down is on my website. So you got at least I could give it to you now, same thing, but I want you to go to my website. I got a lot of great pictures on there of some old school guys I like to educate everybody about. So if it's as simple as you texting me and just saying, "George, how can I get this CD?" I will answer it. I don't have a secretary. I don't have people. I love, like I said, I love talking to people and meeting people. And so if you, whatever's easiest for them. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this real quick. Folks, listen. I've got a buddy named Danny that I have become great friends with. And he did something for me that's also very special, and God is so good because all this timing is perfect. I believe in not luck. I believe in the Lord's timing, and so I'm going to sit my CD right here. But folks, this first box, okay, wherever you get one, whether we mail it to you, whether I duct tape it to a pigeon and mail it to your front door, okay? I told one guy I'll put it on a rock and wrap it in duct tape and throw it through your window. But I'm going to get a CD to you. But every one of them that I sell, I'm going to, folks, you got to see this. Now, this is my own special card. That is my brand new, I like to call them baseball cards, even though it's a wrestling card, but it is a baseball card. That is my brand new one that I will be picking up from my buddy Danny. He's got a huge podcast, Road Stories. He's just such a great friend, him and his dad, and they did a huge amount of these cards for me. And I love the back of it. He made a special one for me. Is they even put my grandbaby.
I see that. Raylan Monroe.
Yeah. They even put Raylan Monroe, my grandbaby, on the back of this card. And it's funny because when he made this one for me, I marked out a little bit. I said, "Dang, Daddy." And I said, "I want 1,000 of these." And he said, "Wait a minute, George." And he made good sense. He said, "You don't want a bunch of goofballs running around with a card with your grandbaby on the back." Right? I wasn't thinking, you know. And I said, "Oh, you're right." So folks, I just a little heads up. You won't be getting Raylan Monroe, okay, my grandbaby, on the back of the card. But it'll be this one. And then there is a picture of me on the back of the one that you'll be getting. But what I'm going to do, there's no extra charge, folks. You're going to think, "Man, George, this CD done made me nice." That ain't going to last long after I tell you some of the stories I got to tell you. But anyway, so every CD, Jeff, nothing fancy. If you want me to autograph it, I'll be glad to. Folks, listen, don't make this hard. That's what I'm trying to say here, okay? Because I don't mind personalize the cards. But you have to talk with me. That's what I tell everybody. I just sold a book, Jeff, to a guy. I mailed it to him. He mailed me cash too, is what was so funny. But he wanted me to personalize the book, but he didn't tell me that. Okay, so I just signed George South, you know, a little scripture, whatever, mailed it to him. Well, he's mad. Now, he's going to go through the trouble of mailing it back, and then I'm going to personalize it, but he didn't tell me that.
Well, George, I go through this kind of stuff, too.
You know...
And now sometimes I do forget, and that's on me.
Right.
But sometimes I'm kind of expected to be a mind reader sometime. And man, what we're saying here is when you contact George, he's going to tell you how much he wants for this nice set here, this CD single.
Yeah.
And this wrestling baseball card.
Yeah, sure is. Brand new.
And I'm sure that, now listen, he ain't going to crack these open and sign them unless you say, George, I would like for you to autograph mine, please.
That's exactly right.
Simple, okay?
That's
so
exactly right.
So if you don't say that, and you get yours, and he hasn't signed it, well then, that's on you.
That sure is. And Jeff, let me add this. And if y'all think maybe later, we got WrestleCade, the big, huge event coming up in November in Winston-Salem. And if you think, well, I'm going to get mine and before they're gone, and then I'll bring it to you. You bring it to my table. There's no extra charge for me to sign it. So we're easy. We'll do this any way y'all folks want to. I want to make it easy for you. I don't want to make it hard. I'll personalize them and mail them to you, or you can bring the CDs up to my table, and I'll be glad to autograph them then.
And George, you know, since you're telling the people this, right?
Yes.
I want to go ahead and lay something on the people myself, if you don't mind.
No, please.
Hey, I tell y'all what. You know how I'm always telling y'all cash is king? I mean that. And I'm going to tell y'all are listening to me right here on Break On Through. You're either listening live, you're listening on the replay tonight, or tomorrow when you're driving down the road, or tomorrow when you're in the warehouse or whatever and you're listening. Remember this, okay? Remember this. If you want to buy something from old JC on our Big Cartel Store, just remember what I always say before we go out on the road. Cash is king. And I'm telling you right now, you find a way to get me some cash in the mail and skip all those fees from all these companies, and I will make it worth your time. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
I will throw you something there extra in. So let's just keep that in mind, okay? But Dave Norton, that's the guy that did the finalized cover layout.
Oh wow, thank you.
And he's going to want his sign. Now,
yes.
If you don't mind, at the end of the night, before you go home, I'm going to bust open mine that I got put up there. I want you to sign them all.
Yeah, yes, please.
Because all these guys and gals that worked on it, they're going to want a George South autograph, and they live all over the world. So
no, we'll do that. Thank you, Jeff. That'd be a great idea.
Yes, sir.
So, folks, what we're saying, and I hope I know I'll make everything so complicated, but we will get you this CD. And I even had a couple questions, folks. Everybody said, okay, Bootleg Preacher, folks. When you read that, that ain't just a name that we come up with that I love, but I was sitting in my church, my little old church in Concord one Sunday morning, and it was an early service. As a few old people, the older people were in there, and I love going to the early service. Anyway, so one morning, everybody just had a scowl look on their face. Not just me, but even the old people. It's just like everybody was just tired, I guess, still asleep, And so the preacher, my pastor Jesse, who I love with all my heart, he just looked out over the congregation and he said, folks, y'all need to wake up. He said, some of y'all need to get a little bootleg preacher in you. And that's the first time I'd ever heard that. And what he was basically saying is, the world tells you that you got to be smart, you got to go to college, you got to go to seminar and all that stuff, seminary and all that stuff's important to know God and to tell people about Him. But what he's saying is, no, you don't. That's what a bootleg preacher is. That's what I am. Is Jesus changed my life, folks? I'm gonna get up on my soapbox. Jesus changed my life. He is my best friend, and folks, I go all over the world, and that's where bootleg preacher comes from. Okay, I'm not the smartest screwdriver in the toolbox, but folks, listen to me. I have done something that I love for 40 years. All I've ever heard, just like Ric Flair, when you going to quit? When you going to quit? And I'm not going to quit. What? And work at Walmart? I mean, nothing wrong with Walmart now. I love Walmart. You got me? But what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? And to me, and I know you know this, Jeff, there's nothing like going to, I was just with Baby Doll, our perfect 10, in Rockingham. And listen to this, Jeff. They had not been pro wrestling in that high school in 20 years. So the promoter went to a lot of meetings to get wrestling back in this high school. Now, Jim Crockett ran that school back in the day, but some people that came in and really screwed up the floor. And so anyway, but we're back in this gym. And it's a fundraiser for the baseball team that needed jerseys and stuff like that. So here it is. I'm standing in this gymnasium and the place is packed, and I got the Perfect 10 baby doll beside me. So I'm thinking, there's no other place that I'd rather be right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And so I know it's not WrestleMania. It's not 100,000 people, but I've always told you, Jeff, that during the week, and I know you're like that when you're off the road, during the week, that's when I got a problem. You know, the shows ain't my problem. The real world is my problem.
Right.
You understand? So,
yeah, I do.
I see my ring on a trailer, and I want to go out there and like set it up in the front yard. Is just being off the road is my problem. So, folks, this Bootleg Preacher, this right here, folks. If I everybody says, yeah, you can turn your emotions on, you can turn them off, and no, I'm telling you, folks, I've never had anything like this done for me. So to Antiseen and to the band, this is from my heart, Jeff. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna go. I'm gonna tell you what, folks, and you mark my words here tonight. I'm good friends with John Boy and Billy, the Fox. I'm gonna tell you, and I'll broadcast it. But I'm first thing Monday morning, this thing will be on John Boy and Billy before I'm done. All right, y'all gonna be going to work. You know what I'm saying? Mad at the system like I am, and I'm sitting gonna turn the Fox on, and then you gonna hear Bootleg Preacher. And I'm gonna tell you, folks, I gotta let y'all. Well, you ain't gonna hear it tonight, but when you hear it, it's so. Hey, be ready. I'm telling you, folks, be ready for that split second of 80ish. Jeff, that's what hung me. That's what hooked me on this.
All right.
I'm telling you, Barry, my hat is off to you. Is that because when I first time I heard it, I didn't know what to expect. Okay, and I knew it was going to be good, but when that 80ish kicked in, Jeff, all I could picture is me being 18 years old, making a road town with Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods and Wahoo McDaniel. I'm telling you, Jeff, y'all captured this. And I'm not just telling you this to blow smoke up Antiseen's butt or anything like that, but I'm telling you, God was in this thing because there's no other way from the cover to the song to the... Remember you sent me the words. Remember that day at the library? You just sent me the words with no music, nothing. It was just the words. And I started getting chicken skin. I started getting a little goosebumpy when the words... And remember I even texted you, messaged you back that day, and I said, Jeff, you just said in 4 minutes what I've been trying to say for 40 years about my life and about my love for pro wrestling, my love for the Lord, and just the excitement. And then y'all captured it.
But
y'all captured it.
I've got to tell the people one thing about this. There's a section in the song where George performs with us, and we asked him. Our intention was that there would be a version on the single and a different version on the album. And we were going to have George do 2 different raps. And we were going to have him do one where he was able to get in a little preaching. And we were going to have him one where he's being Mr. Number One and being Supreme Heel. And we told him, after he did the rap and we pieced it together, we're like, George, you're pretty mean on this. Do you not want to, you might want to do one with the preaching? He goes, no, don't change it. That'll kill it.
Yeah, that'll kill it right there.
So,
and Jeff, this is, I got to add this real quick before I forget it. Most time people, they on the internet, especially Facebook or whatever, I delete most of the stuff. Well, yesterday, I get a message. And I noticed I didn't recognize the guy, the name or the picture. We're not friends on Facebook. And he just said in big letters, I'm sorry. Now, folks, you got to bear with me on this for a little bit, okay? He just said, I'm sorry. And I said, well, that's kind of interesting for a man to tell me I'm sorry. Usually they say that I say it after they watch me wrestle, okay? But anyway, so folks, listen to this, and I'm going to get a little mushy here for just 2 seconds. He just wrote me, and I got to reading, and he just said, you don't know me. He said, I see you at wrestling shows. He said, but I've never had the nerve to come up and talk to you. He said, many years ago, me and my partner were in wrestling together, and he told me a bunch of lies. That was his words. He said he told me a bunch of lies about you, and for years I believed them. Okay? Now, I'm bothered because this poor guy had to live with this whole time. He said, and I'm finding out more and more every day that he lied to me. And he said, I just ask you as a man, nothing silly. He said, I just ask you as a man to another man, would you please forgive me? Okay? Now, people are going to say, whoa, wait a minute now. George, have you lost your mind? But I just, first of all, I told the gentleman, thank you. I mean, he took time, out of his family to send this to me. He said, I saw you recently at an AML show, but I couldn't talk to you. I couldn't get up the nerve. And so I just basically told him that, first of all, there's nobody screwed up more than me, Jeff. I'm the biggest screw up in the world. And I just told him simply that I appreciated all this and that I forgive him. Okay? So that it's over. I'll never bring it up again. Okay? I don't even want to know what his partner had said, any of that. So I forgive the guy. So I like to joke. I said, now I've got a new best old friend, Jeff. And so I just... You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and so I said all that to say this, folks. Let me tell you something. My block button on Facebook, I done wore 4 of them out this past week, Jeff. So listen, I don't know if y'all catch up, but I love, Journey's my band, but Van Halen too. And I'm so mad at Van Halen because after all these years, Jeff, they still hate each other. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I don't understand it, even after Eddie died. So the other day, I check all my little rock and roll sites out and stuff like that. So Sammy Hagar wrote a book, not long ago, and he dogged Eddie Van Halen and all this kind of stuff. Well, he's got a little bit older, and he regrets it. Mm-hmm. Okay, listen to me, folks. He regrets the stuff he wrote. Mm-hmm. So he comes out and he says, if I could write my book right now, I wouldn't have wrote that stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay? He said that I would have said nicer things about Eddie. Okay? He said, I wouldn't have wrote none of that crap. So he said, but I can't. And so he apologized to Eddie Van Halen's family. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I said all that to say, so I thought that, to me, that grabbed at me. Mm-hmm. Folks, listen to me, and I'm going to preach for 2 seconds. You only get one chance to love somebody. Always remember that, Jeff. Okay? You only get one chance. Okay? So listen. So I put this little story up on Facebook. Like, you ain't got to like it, but it's pretty neat that Sammy Hagar wished he could go back. So anyway, the first thing a lady does, she gets on there and she says, you're funny. Like, wait a minute. I'm trying to be, first time in my life, I'm trying to be serious here, and I'm not trying to be funny on this. So I have no idea what she meant by that, Jeff. And I wasn't trying to be funny. It really aggravated me, so I blocked the lady. And don't like her at all. So, but I'm thinking that was one time I wasn't. So I'm learning every day is what I'm saying, even from my rock and roll guys. And of course today, Wolfie come out. Now Wolfie hates Sammy Hagar. So the circle never ends. Just play music. Van Halen was the hottest band in the world, Jeff. You knew that. Yes. And they were just so good. And I don't know. I guess I'm trying to save the world, okay? But I don't care no more. Because now I'm going to go lock myself in my house with my boombox. Jeff, you're going to be getting a call about 3 in the morning from my neighbors saying, okay, Antiseen, come and get him. He said he was with y'all. Because that noise ordinance is going to be ripped out of the wall. Right. But anyway, Jeff, I cannot thank you enough. And folks, this is going to go, I promise you, this will be all over the world. These will be gone. I've got people that have messaged me today. I didn't want to jinx nothing, so everybody knew I was coming over and coming to get them. And I said, yeah, they should be on my way home tonight. Here later, they should be with me in my possession. So I hope everybody knows how that they're able to get them. We'll get them to them. So, all right. And seriously, I don't hate PayPal so much. I just hate that whole hassle of it. I hate giving them, even if it's 50 cents off of my CD that y'all work for and I worked for so hard. But I know how the deal works. But I'll do whatever I've got to do. I'm going to tell you, folks, listen, I'm not giving these away. There's a lot of hard work that's been put into these things. But I promise you the price is going to be very fair. And I'm like you, Jeff. I got so much stuff that I stick with. It's just old posters, old flyers from the shows and stuff that I just love giving. I'm like you so much. I'm glad you said that. I'll always give extra that I've just got and I love to give. It may be an old card that I've got laying around that I stick with this one. So anyway, a very special moment here on Break On Through. This is in the man's hand, folks. And listen, this, folks, just a little bit about the back. This is from Nick Gage. The Nick Gage match, Russell K. 2 years ago. Nobody ever believed it. It's where I challenged Nick Gage, one of the toughest men I ever met in my life. And people still talk about this. I ain't saying I was the brightest one in the ring that night, but this is when I got a little carried away, Jeff, and wrapped myself in barbed wire. But this captures me. And folks, let me tell you something about this, the cover. I got so much about just this, we could do a whole nother show. This ring jacket here, folks, it hangs in my museum. This is the night that J.J. Dillon managed me for AML's War Games. So that was the first time I wore this ring jacket. It's probably the same bandana I got on. But at the same time I wore that ring jacket, J.J. Dillon. So it hangs, he got one just like it. So this jacket is my J.J. Dillon jacket. So anyway, real quick.
Well, man, I'm just going to tell you that once again, from me, Sir Barry, Malcolm, and Walt, we all consider this an honor to be able to do this. And you know, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we were blessed with being able to hold an audience with Abdul the Butcher.
Wow.
And, you know, to be able to tell you guys what you mean to us and what you've meant to us, and you still be here to hear it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And
Thank
us
you.
still being here to do it.
Yes.
Means the world to us.
Man, I love that. I love that. And see, I tell everybody this. I don't care if it's toilet paper. I can sell anything, but I gotta believe. I ain't gonna sell junk. Yeah, I'm not. I don't care. My gimmick tables is as I love being there and meeting people. You know, I've told you that, and I know y'all go through it. I hate when someone comes up to my gimmick table and they let their kids come first, and their kids want something, and then mom and dad say, "Oh, we ain't got no money," which I understand that, but don't let your kid. What a mean parent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand, and I always will give the kids something. I ain't letting the kid. But what parent, folks, listen, I'm going to tell you, oh, man, y'all going to think I'm like that football kicker telling y'all how to raise your kids now. Listen, I want to say something tonight to make all of y'all mad so you'll buy all these. That kicker, brother, for the Chiefs has got the #1 selling jersey in football. Tell me this ain't a work. So everybody hates him, but he's got they said it's the first time in NFL history that a kicker has the #1 selling jersey. So folks, if y'all get mad at me for tonight, just go buy this. Okay? Just go buy these. I tells you how old I am. You know, back in the concert days, when someone like Elvis or Steve Perry, the women, you know, they take their bloomers off. You know, they throw them on stage. And
Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, gosh, yes. Yes, or Tom Jones.
Tom Jones,
oh, my gosh,
yes.
They throw their clothes up on stage. And it was just an old rock and roll thing. And I was joking with some people about that. And I thought everybody had heard of that. And they said, really? They looked at me like I was an idiot. Like,
right.
What do you mean you're going to throw? Because I always joke with people, if Steve Perry tours again, now listen to me, folks. You tell me God ain't good. Steve Perry just signed, Jeff, I don't think you knew this. Steve Perry just signed a new record deal.
Oh, yeah?
A new record deal. So you know what why would you sign a record deal if you ain't going to tour? Okay? So folks, listen, you heard it from me first. If Steve Perry tours, I'm going to jail. I'm going straight. I will throw my bra up on stage. Okay? And that's when I was joking, and they said, well, what are you talking about, George? I know you're joking, but what are you talking about throwing a bra up on stage? So they never heard.
But they don't know that.
They don't even know that was
phenomenon. That
yes,
it really happened.
That was the thing to do back in the day. It sure did. And so I'm sitting here trying to explain to these people what I meant, even though I'm an idiot. And I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to throw my bra on stage for Steve Perry. It was way over their head, is what I'm saying. Right. So anyway, real quick.
Man,
folks,
almost everything I say anymore to anyone younger than me that's over their damn head. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
How did y'all make it to this age? You know, I mentioned to a guy about Record Bar on Independence the other day that's lived in Charlotte all of his life. He's a younger guy, but he had no clue. I met Ace Frehley in that Record Bar right off Independence, yeah? And it was just, folks, y'all don't know what y'all miss, you younger folks, how you could just go in there and look through these albums and the covers and the smell of just that Record Bar. And just, but I'm like that. I'll say something just, even with my kids sometimes, and they'll say, excuse me, Dad, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, what are you talking about? Because I was joking about, I want this thing to be,
I get that damn.
I want this thing to make everybody so mad that you buy them, and then if you go burn them, I'll sell you another one, okay? Do you remember that, Jeff? When it was like, okay, Alice Cooper and Kiss, we're going to go burn their albums and stuff. You got it. Listen, after you pay for them, Alice Cooper and Kiss don't care what you do to them.
That's right.
So anyway, I know we got a lot to do. Jeff,
Antiseen don't care what you do to them.
No, gosh. But folks, listen. Here's the most important part of tonight, folks. Listen, long after I'm in heaven, okay, and I hope I'm here for another 100 years, but long after I'm gone, my kids and my grandbabies, okay, it will have this. Now, that's why I want you and the band to understand how important this is to me, Jeff, because they know how important it is. My kids know how important it is to me. So when little Raylan Monroe calls me Bootleg Preacher, we've done something. Right. Okay, not Pawpaw, but Bootleg Preacher. So this will, folks, this will live on. I've got a buddy of mine that wants 3. I mean, just to give out to his family. So this will be, long after I'm gone, this will be, they're going to play this when they bury me. And you know, when all you folks come by to talk about how much y'all love me, even though I'm dead, but nobody tells me now how much they love me. You ever notice that? Yeah. Tell me now, folks, while we're on the air. You tell me how much y'all love me.
Bring him his flowers while he's alive and
while I can smell them. I'm telling you that right now. So real quick, folks, I always bring you some stuff as I'm going through my museum, and I got to start making a list because I don't know what I brought you and what I had. So, but anyway, these are just a few things, folks, I want to share with you as I give them to Jeff. Folks, this Clayton Antiseen Batcave here that I'm sitting in is just immaculate. You wouldn't believe it. I just told Jeff I see something different every time I come in here. But this is just a few little things, Jeff. I'm going to start off small. And I know this, I just love the cover of it. Okay. Jeff, look what I got you. I know you got it. But this is a King Kong Deluxe Edition, Jeff, and you don't even ever have to watch it. I just love the packaging, okay? You look like 20 CDs in here, okay? I don't even know what year this thing come out, but I just love, man, who wants to play it? I just love the CD. So that's just a little something.
Well, thank you, George.
Okay? I'm telling you, I love how they just packaged it right. 2-disc special edition. Yep. And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff and stuff in there.
Looks good.
Ain't that cool? Jeff, you're going to love this. There's only 2 of these in the world. And you going to have one, and I got one.
Uh-oh.
Listen, a lot of wrestling stuff that they come out with don't make it to the stores. It just was a great idea, like Dusty and my outfits. They didn't make it. Folks, listen to this. A lot of people don't know. My good friend Jimmy Hart, he had, think of this, Jeff, he had his own energy drink.
Oh, my God.
Now, listen, Jeff, okay? I promise it didn't, it ain't never been open. But something happened, folks, to the energy drink over the years.
Let me see that.
Okay?
Oh, so it just, okay.
But there was energy drink in it, but there's not, so I'm bringing you basically an empty can, okay? But it's never been open, okay? But there was, I checked my car and make sure it didn't leak, but there was some energy in it at one time.
Well, that's great. That's going to go up on one of these shelves.
And that's never, you won't find no more of them. Now, Jeff, I just had Ricky and Robert, I'm sorry, not Robert, my good friend, but Ricky and his son, Kerry James, who have been tagging a lot. These are brand new. They just come out with their own pennants. You know, the old baseball pennants back in the day? Well, it's got Ricky and Kerry James.
Man,
on there, and both of them signed. And Kerry hadn't signed a lot of stuff, but I had Ricky Morton and Kerry James both signed
I
this pennant for you. So that will be a gift.
I don't know. What y'all think? You think maybe we need some Antiseen pennant?
Ain't that something? Yeah, I love that.
What about a Bootleg Preacher?
Oh, I love that. See, I don't even have nothing like that. So just a couple more things, folks. Jeff, listen. And I know you got more T-shirts than you know what to do with. And this one, I want to share. I want to give it to you because I've had it for a long time. It's never been wore, but it's special to me because we've talked about Dusty Rhodes tonight. But long after the Crockett days and even the WWF days, Dusty would still wrestle at some shows. Well, this here, Jeff, is so special to me because all of your friends are on the front of it. They called it the first annual Boogie Bash, okay, and it was done, and it's got all the list of the guys who were on it.
No, boys, got on you're on there.
Oh, we're on it.
Oh, you're on the front.
Look here, yep, but it's got all of your buddies. It's got Boogie, and of course Dusty Rhodes. This was one of his last appearances in the ring, and it's got me, of course, and it's got my superstar,
Man, I love
Bill Eadie. So,
you know I'm going to wear it, right?
Oh, yeah, I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
And you know if I wear it, the sleeve's got to come out.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, I would love that.
Right?
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
Well,
now
you know what, though, George? I'm not going to be wearing it. Because this is a medium.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff.
I won't be wearing it.
I should have torn the tag out. But that is yours. That was from that special night. And I found that and I said, man, all those guys on there that you love. But now here, I got one more. Okay, now Jeff, this is the Holy Grail. I've told you about this. I just forgot to bring it to you. But everybody knows our love for Terry Funk. Of course, y'all wrote a song for him. And Terry, I used to love to be at shows with him because he would always come up to my gimmick table and I'd have the corniest stuff. And he would love it. Like it'd be stuff that didn't make a bit of sense. Like my mystery bags with just old toys in it. And he would just mark out over the mystery bags, and he'd say, "I wish we would have thought of that back in my day." And I never forget, I had, I wear a regular shirt, but I always wear, my kids call it a bib, but I always my I Love Jesus tank top, which I basically cut up a shirt and pull it over me. And he would always just be fascinated with that. He said, "So let me get this right now, George." And in that voice, he'd say, "So you wear one shirt, and then you cut another one." And he made it look spectacular. Instead of an old T-shirt, Terry Funk's telling me about my shirt. So anyway, he would get set up at his little table, and I would always go over there to his table. And he'd have T-shirts and pictures, and he used to joke with me because I'd always hope he would forget. And I'd say, "Terry, I got a friend named George Jr. Can you sign this?" But it'd be to my son because I'm keeping it all, okay?
Right.
And then he'd sign it. Then I'd say, well, "You know what? His daughter," and I'd lie like a dog. I'd say, "Well, his daughter, Scarlett, would love to have a picture, but that's my daughter." So I'd have 18 pictures signed by Terry Funk, but I keep every one of them. Yeah. It'd be to my family. And I knew he knew what I was doing. But Jeff, listen to this. Now this one you can wear. This comes straight off of Terry Funk's table. He only had 2 of them left, and he gave me this one. And Jeff, I love the artwork on it. This comes straight from Terry Funk, and of course it says he does his own stunts, but this is straight from the man right here, Jeff. So, and this one,
I appreciate that.
But that's straight from him.
And this is adult size?
Yes, that's adult size.
Okay.
So you will be wearing that one.
Alrighty. Look at that,
that, folks, that came, and what's so special about that, Jeff, is that came straight from his table. The man, Terry Funk himself, bought that one.
You know, you said something about us doing a song for Terry Funk. Well, you know, when I introduced myself to him for the first time in person, after we had done that song, after that, he remembered me every time.
Oh, wow.
And but when I brought him the record, I brought him the single we did of Dear Abby, because we turned it into an EP because it had the Dear Abby song, and it had live versions of Funk You, Sabu, and Cactus Jack. So on the back there was a cartoon of Sabu and Cactus and Funk all getting into it, and so I gave him one. And this is back in the days when people just did not have turntables anymore.
Right.
And let me tell you what he said to me. He says, "Oh, I like that. You know, I got a big pine trunk at home that I put all the stuff that people give me, and I'm going to put it in that trunk." I was like, man, you do whatever you want with it.
You know what was a special moment towards Terry, right before Terry passed away, is my buddies, they went out to his house and spent some time with him. My guys at High Spots, and they, you know, spent 3 days at his house, and they went to eat steak, and so he had all this stuff in his house like we do, Jeff, and he had, you know, all those beautiful ponchos that he used to wear to the ring, and well, so our people wanted to purchase one, just see if they would be available, and so they asked him, you know, they were eating steak and eating supper, and so they asked Terry Funk, would he be interested in selling any, you know, just one of those ponchos? He had a bunch of them, and he said something that was so special. He told our guys, he said, no, not them. He said that his wife, which I didn't know, his wife had passed away years earlier, but his wife had made all those ponchos for him, and he said that he was going to be buried in every one of them. He said, I'm going to wear, he said, it may take a minute for him to put them all on me. He said, but I'm going to be buried in every one of them. And so I just thought that connection, you know, you know, the more, you know, when I hung out at Crockett's office today, the old office, I'm thinking that fans they got it made now, but I'm so glad we come along, Jeff. When our heroes were bigger than life, you know, I mean, they were, and you would see them in Charlotte and Florida and places like that. So the Terry Funks and the Wahoo McDaniels and you know, and I love The Rock and John Cena and Randy Orton and all those guys, but they'll never be that period that where they were just bigger than they were bigger than life. And I know Hogan changed all that. I mean, he made us bigger than life, and you know, I like to say Hogan took us out of some of the smaller buildings and put us in the huge high-rise places, but the nice coliseums. But man, it's just that history of I mean, I see newspaper clippings from the 40s of wrestling in Charlotte. Like, are you kidding me? Some of the same places that we go to now. So, but I got to mention this, Jeff. I don't know how much longer we got, but folks, listen.
I would say we got about 15 more minutes.
Wonderful. Oh, boy, I got a lot to cover in 15 minutes. But I got to mention this. This sweet lady, Elizabeth Huffman, I met her and her husband in North Wilkesboro, which is an old wrestling town. But Jeff, it's the coolest story in the world that they wanted to do something for some of the less fortunate. They want to do something for the homeless. And I love when the underdog wins, okay? Because everything's just against all of us. We talk about that a lot. So the city said, okay, that sounds like a good idea, and everybody means well, but we don't basically want those people. It was going to be a homeless shelter, basically. And so, but that was kind of their words. They just said, well, we don't want those type of people around here, you know, in this area. And they even went to as far as the city said, there's no bigger businesses going to come in, big motels, big restaurants, if those type of people. Well, those were our type of people. Yeah, I'd rather be around those type of people, whatever that means. But anyway, so Elizabeth Huffman and her wonderful husband, they sued the city. All right, the little underdog sued the city to build this shelter. Okay, so they won. Jeff, they won.
Good.
So they built this Catherine H. Barber Memorial Shelter, and it is beautiful. So I've got involved with them on my part, folks. I'm just telling you this up front. I'll tell you, I ain't got nothing to hide from anybody. I tell everybody, my life's been a book for 40 years. Imagine getting your picture taken for the last 45 years, whether you wanted it took or not. Okay, Jeff, you know that. So anyway, so folks, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm so glad I brought this up. $1 from every one of these that I sell, I'm doing this on my own, is I'm going to give it to the Catherine H. Barber Shelter. And folks, I've seen there's families, they bring families in, and to hear success stories of families that were just down on their luck, and they needed a place to stay for a while, and then they got their stuff together, and now they moved out of the Catherine Barber Shelter, and now they're on their own, and they're supporting themselves. It's just a great story, Jeff. It's just a great story. So anyway, Saturday, June the 1st, okay? There's going to be a huge car show, and I want to plug it real quick, Jeff, up in at Wilkes Community College. It's a huge, I got Jimmy Vane, our friend, Boogie Woogie Man, coming, okay? And I got my good friend Gunner coming, and I've got Savannah Evans, one of the lady wrestlers, she's coming, and we're just going to hang out all day at this car show. And Jeff, they got some of the most amazing cars, Trans Am. Oh, I was a big Trans Am man. Golly, mine was old 76 Trans Am eat up.
Everybody wanted Smokey the Bandit.
Oh man, they were. So they have all these cars there, and of course we're right in the middle of it. Me and Boogie, and we're just going to meet people and love on people, and of course all proceeds from the car show will go to the Catherine Barber shelter, and it's just amazing. I'm gonna tell you, I screw up so much, but I'm doing, you know, I tell people all the time, everybody talks about doing something, okay? And in their defense, Jeff, a lot of people think, well, I ain't got the money, I ain't got the time. Well, folks, it don't take much. These families in that shelter, you know, my grandbabies, I got 3 grandsons, and they grow so fast. And their clothes, they outgrow everything.
You telling me? You see that one?
Yeah, but I got to hang out with Coleman. Oh my goodness, and he's grown 10 feet. He'll be a third chair here when I come back. But I just love giving those clothes. I love blessing people and just you know, just seeing people smile. And you know, I gave a big bag of clothes to a guy at a show up in Morganton at the fairgrounds, and just asked him. I said, I know you don't know me, but you probably think I'm nuts, but I want to bless your. He had 2 little boys at ringside. I said, I'm going to give you these clothes. Didn't think I'd ever hear from the guy. Next day, Jeff, he finds me on Facebook and said, I just want to thank you for those clothes. He said, we're going through a rough time, and those clothes are going to help my kid. So anyway, folks, if you're up that way, it's all free. That's the main thing about this car show, the big car show at Wilkes County Community College, is it's all free. You just come, hang out, you see some fancy cars, they'll have food trucks, and you get to meet Jimmy Valiant, myself, and the other legends there. And
that sounds like a good time.
Oh gosh, so I just wanted to put a quick plug in for that, if the people can come to that, and of course that'll be this Saturday, and we're gearing up for WrestleCade. Jeff, 10 years, over 10 years that we've been going to Winston-Salem the weekend after Thanksgiving. We've had great mood. You know, last year they dressed me up like a juggalo.
Yep.
You know, and I told you that story last time I was here. You know, so they send me in the back because, you know, it was the perfect John Wayne movie. Like my partner, Ricky and them's in trouble. So they send me to the back. And so there's a lady back there, Jeff, with white paint. And I'm thinking this is like the Juggalo's girl. Like she knows what she's doing, so I'm in good hands. So I go back there, and they tell me you only got like 16 seconds to come back and make the save. So I'm thinking, okay, she's a professional, right? She's gonna paint me up like Gene Simmons. So I'm coming to the back real quick. She's got this big paint pen thing, and so I said, random conversation. I said, well, honey, how long you been doing this? She said, I've never done this before. And so I knew I was in bad hands there. But Jeff, she painted me up. Of course, I go back through the curtain. Nobody expected it. So I am an official member of the Juggalos. And I told everybody this, folks, before we go off in this thing. Oh, so he's the coolest guy in the world. Joe. I know him first name. I brought the first name to you, okay? Violent J. Yeah. And so, one of the nicest guys in the world. I'm going to tell you how nice he is. I got these great, one of your big Antiseen's, Jamie and her family, Andy and all of them, and Will, the biggest they came to y'all's anniversary show. They can't wait to get their hands on one of these. So anyway, they wanted to meet Violent J. This was during a show. There's 10,000 people at this show. Well, I exaggerate a little bit, maybe 5,000. But anyway, so I just went in the back. I said, Joe, I know you're busy. I said, and we're getting ready to start the show. I said, but I got some friends out in the hall. Could you just come and say hey? Now, Jeff, I didn't know if he'd say, I ain't got time. I didn't know if he'd say, gosh, now, you know, because he had a big day. I mean, he'd been there all day. And he said, sure, where are they at? I'll never forget this. One of the biggest rock and roll guys in the world. He said, sure, where are they at? And it kind of shocked me because he was that nice. So I said, hold on. Because I didn't even have Jamie and him yet. Because I thought he'd wanted to discuss it. He stood up and said, sure, where they at? I said, well, wait, I got to go get them. So I ran and grabbed them out of the crowd, brought them in the hall, and Jeff, for about 15 minutes, excuse me, it was just Jamie, Annie, it was just their family, and Violet J in that hall. What a cool moment that was. We got pictures with him and stuff like that. So anyway, this coming WrestleCade, there's no telling. Guess who, folks? In a few days, here, right outside of Charlotte, AML, guess, first time in my life, I'm going to be tag team partners. Folks, you hear it here first. We can't call him Hornswoggle, because WWE, so we call him Swoggle. You know, the little guy.
Right. Yeah.
So I get the tag. Jeff, I've done it all. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a new
now
CD.
You've officially done it all.
I've officially got my brand new CD, the hottest selling thing in the world, and then I'm gonna tag with Swoggle. Okay, and listen, I can't wait. It's funny because my grandbabies, they've been around wrestling the whole life, and I try to get them to come sometimes, and they, yeah, maybe Papa, but they heard Swoggle's there.
Oh, they want to go now.
Oh my gosh, they got ringside seats right now. Okay, I want to think it's because of me. You know, they said, Dad, they said, Papa, what are you doing here? Okay, but I get to go to the ring with Swoggle, so I'm still, all these years in the business, there's still a lot of firsts that I love, and I'm still hoping that when Ric Flair does one more match, that that maybe I'll get the call, okay? Because I do it in a heartbeat.
That would be great.
So much going on.
Well, listen, before we sign off, I got a couple announcements I need to give, and here we go. If you happen to be in the Hattiesburg, Mississippi area this coming Friday, the 24th, the place you need to be is the Fat Cat in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. What do you think of that, George?
I love that.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some bands there. One of them's called Worms. One of them, whom I know, they're all close personal friends of mine. Mobile, Alabama's favorite sons and daughter, Future Hate. There's also a band going to be there called Dread. Each of their letters has a period after it. So I don't know what Dread stands for, but it's called Dread. And apparently opening up the festivities will be Walt Wheat.
Oh, wow.
Member of Antiseen, full-fledged, full-tilt boogie, guitar slinger, buzzsaw maker, Walt Wheat. In his band. Before I Hang will be playing live, and that is no job. That is this coming Friday, the 24th, at the Fat Cat in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Wow. Wow.
Don't miss it. If you're anywhere down on the Gulf Coast and you don't go, well, then you're a loser.
Oh,
But
hey, Jeff, one last plug. I want to congratulate our girl, Tessa Blanchard.
Yes.
Listen to me. She is setting the, just unbelievable. It's hard to believe she's been in wrestling 10 years. She just went to Puerto Rico and won 3 days ago. She just won their women's. She's been in Mexico for about a year now, setting that place on fire. But she just went to Puerto Rico and won their women's title in Puerto Rico. So that's just another a blessing to her and another payoff for her hard work. And I'm just so excited that I've got I tell her mom all the time that I'm very thankful that I had a little part in that. A lot of people I've told you, they think just because you're Tully Blanchard's daughter that you're going to be good. That ain't always, just like music. Just because, Wolfie had to pave a way for himself. Your dad's Eddie Van Halen, come on. But you still had to learn those licks and stuff yourself. You know that. So anyway, congratulate to my favorite girl, Tessa Blanchard. Folks, so much going on. And Jeff, one thing to the band. Folks, I cannot tell you, I will wear this thing out. The neighbors are going to be complaining because Bootleg Preacher is going to set the whole neighborhood on fire. Not one thing, I ain't even looked at it, dissected it. But there's not one thing I would change on here. There's not one thing. Yeah.
Well, that makes us all, man, I speak for all the guys in my band.
Folks, listen,
that makes us so happy, man.
I'm telling you, when y'all people play this, not because I want to sell a few, whatever. When you play this, you better have a handkerchief. If you love the '80s and that era of music, and I don't want to really say hair bands. I just want to say that special. Styx said that the Babe, that one of their songs, they hated it when they wrote it, but it was the hottest selling record that Styx ever put out was Babe. Okay, so I'm not saying this is slow, anything love song where you got your heart broken in your back seat like I did many times. That's for another story, Jeff. Okay, that's for another story. But folks, when this thing kicks in, it will have you. Now, I want you to listen to all of it. Don't get me wrong, but when this thing first kicks in, but you're going to know exactly. I promise you, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
And don't forget, this is one of the premiere performances with the Antiseen featuring the Destructo Divas, along with Mr. Number One George South himself.
First
is on
time,
the track.
Jeff, I've done it. I've been there. I've done it 3 or 4 times, but I've never had this available. I will be all over the country. I'm going to be at Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend. I'll be in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, Saturday night. Tomorrow night, I'm going to Honey Path, South Carolina, for a big wrestling show with my buddy Bob Keller. We'll be at First Baptist Church in Honey Path. We're doing a wrestling show. This it is. What a great debut for Bootleg Preacher to be first night available on my gimmick table. Will be at First Baptist Church in Honey Path, South Carolina. Jeff, tomorrow night. So,
good,
folks.
Good.
4 appearances this week. This weekend. This thing will be, and then Sunday's the big AML show in Moxville, folks, at the big, huge community center there. Me and Swoggle. I'm going to even have some pictures made. I'm going to send you pictures with Swoggle holding one of these.
Okay.
Swoggle's favorite CD right here. You don't even know it yet. So, Jeff, but from my heart, and I'll shut up. From my heart, the boys, the band, man, I can't thank you. If you knew what this means to me. I can't explain it, Jeff. And I love you. I appreciate this, and I'm excited. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
well,
great show. We didn't. I don't know. We may have went over just a little bit.
Nah, we're good.
No, listen. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I mean this, folks. And you get a free wrestling card, brand new, folks. I'm waiting on these. I picked these up this weekend too. So for you get a hold of me, folks. I don't care if I got to meet you at the QT. Okay, to give you one.
Or the Whataburger.
I'll meet you at the water. Oh yes, I love the water. But Barry won't come to the Whataburger. Barry hates the Whataburger. He'll meet me in the parking lot, but he hates the Whataburger. So, but I'll meet him. I'll meet him at the Whataburger. Anywhere I need to come to make sure. I want y'all to hear this and the hard work that the boys put into this thing, Jeff.
But listen, I'm going to tell y'all something now. He's got what, 4 shows this weekend?
4 shows this weekend.
There may not be none left after this weekend, so if I were you, I would start contacting Mr. South tonight.
Yes.
Can you dig that?
And folks, I'm going to tell you this right now, because I'm busy. I got to set a ring up at a racetrack. I'm on the road tomorrow. But Friday morning, I will be going to the library. I know it sounds old school, it sounds old-fashioned, but I go to the library once a week. I don't have a computer. I don't have nothing. I go to the library to check all my emails. So if you get a hold of George South, Mr. Number One, through his website, we'll find a way by Friday, and I'll put one back. Because I'm telling you, folks, when I hit that road for 4 shows, and folks, wrestling gets in my way of these sales. I'm just telling you. I go to a gimmick sale, and it happened to be a ring there.
There's wrestling
there's
going
had
on,
to be
right?
wrestling there. I hate when wrestling interferes with it. So, folks, these will be in the hands of a lot of people. But if you can get a hold of me by Friday, folks, you just say, hey, George, hold me back one. Hold me back one. And then next week, I got a few days off. I can get them in the mail if I need to. Mm-hmm. And folks, don't think I'm ready to march on City Hall about PayPal. In fact, I know if we got to do it, we got to do it. That's why I got one set up, okay? Mm. So whatever I can do, folks, for you, I want you to hear Bootleg Preacher, because it's going to be hot. Jeff, you wait. What are you going to do when John Boy and Billy introduce the band?
Oh, well.
I'm going to tell you, that's going to happen.
See what happens then, won't we?
Folks, this is going to be on cable access late at night. You're going to buy tools and you're going to see this thing. Okay? You're going to buy one of them fruit maker gimmicks, that cuts your fruit up.
Right.
And this is going to be sitting back on the counter, Jeff, okay? But thank you.
Well, listen,
I mean that.
Man, listen. Always a pleasure to have you
Jeff,
here.
I love you, my buddy.
On Break On Through. Man, you're my good friend. You've been my friend for 30 years.
You sure have. People don't realize how long, Jeff, that we have known each other. We've both been paving our own ways in music and wrestling, but we've always been, somewhere in one of these boxes, and I'm going to bring it, I have one of the very first T-shirts you ever gave me was a Terry Funk. It used to hang off of Central Avenue. It was just a plain white Terry Funk shirt with him on it. You remember that? You had a Boozer Brody one, you had a Terry Funk one, and one night Keeks Mountain, you gave me the Terry, and I got it at home somewhere, but it was just a white old shirt with Terry Funk on the front. You remember that? That was a long time ago. But it used to hang in the window at I don't know.
At Repo Cheap?
Repo, yes, off of Central. right? One of the first repo places, right?
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. That kind of this one was kind of down below where Heroes comic books used to be. Heroes are
close to it down there.
Yeah, close to it. So that's how long we've been riding the roads, buddy. So
right. Yes, sir.
Jeff, I'm excited. I want to thank the band.
Well,
I thank the singers.
I'm gonna have you just sit here and hold that thing up at that camera while I go around and turn it off.
Oh, folks.
Remember, folks.
Look here. And I'll personalize
make your arrangements to get them tonight.
4 days, folks. I'm not making this up. 4 days. And I'm out to sell them. Okay?
Don't write me a bunch of emails tonight going, "Hey, Jeff Clayton, you got to hold me back," because I don't have nothing to hold back.
Real quick, I just noticed, folks. Look on the back, GeorgeSouth.com. Look at that, Jeff.
Yeah, it is.
GeorgeSouth.com. Just what we said, folks. You said, "George, that don't do me no good." I'm sounding like you now. George, that don't do me no good. I ain't got the CD yet. Okay. But folks, listen. It's going to be the last thing as we go off the air. Listen, Steve Perry, David Lee Roth is fixing to sign off. And folks, get it Friday. They're coming live.
Yes, sir.